A national flag is one of the symbolic representations of a country. It represents the identity, values, culture, and history of a people. Because of this, flags are usually unique and easily recognizable. However, despite the diversity in the culture and history of the different African nations, the similarity in their flags cannot go unnoticed. But why is this so? In this video, you will learn why many African countries have similar flag colors and patterns. Interestingly, there is a good reason for this. Many African countries were under European colonial rule until recently. However, in their struggle against colonialism and aspiration for freedom, many of them sought a new identity that represented their desire for independence. Thus, Ethiopia, being the only African country that successfully resisted colonization, became an inspiration for countries fighting for independence. But how exactly did Ethiopia become a symbol of the struggle against colonialism? Let's find out. In the late 19th century, 13 European nations, including the United States, met in Berlin for a conference that resulted in the division of Africa among European colonial powers. Italy had arrived late to the colonial race but was particularly interested in the Horn of Africa region with access to the ocean. So, they quickly began expanding their territory by taking possession of parts of present-day Eritrea and Somalia. However, when Italy sought to expand its territory inland by invading Ethiopia in 1887, they were met with fierce contention that resulted in the loss of life of several Italian troops. The conflict ended after 2 years with the Treaty of Wuchale, which was to promote the friendship and trade between Ethiopia and Italy. Meanwhile, the treaty was written in two languages, Amharic and Italian, which later created miscommunication between the two countries. The Italian version of the treaty assumed Ethiopia to be a protectorate of Italy, but the Amharic version gave Ethiopia autonomy. Consequently, Menelik II, the Emperor of Ethiopia, denounced the treaty in 1894, leading to another conflict between Ethiopia and Italy. However, the Italians underestimated the will of the Ethiopians to defend their country. A full-scale war broke out in 1895 and eventually culminated in the Battle of Adwa in March 1896. The Ethiopian troops easily defeated their Italian opponent, thus winning the war and securing their independence. Following the victory, Emperor Menelik II ordered the design of a new flag for Ethiopia, which consisted of 3 colors. From the top, the colors were red, yellow, and green, with the first letter of his own name in Amharic on the center yellow stripe. The order of the flag was reversed years later and the Amharic letter was removed. However, the colors have come to represent a shared struggle for independence among African states. Red represents the blood shed for independence and freedom. Yellow represents peace and harmony between the various ethnic and religious groups, while green represents hope and fertility of the land. But in addition to the colors on the Ethiopian flag, black is another color that holds deep symbolic meaning. Black is from the Pan-African flag created with the help of Jamaican political activist Marcus Garvey in the early 20th century, with the black representing the people of Africa. The Pan-African movement advocates for the freedom and unity of people of African descent both on the continent and in the diaspora. Thus, upon gaining independence, many African countries adopted green, yellow, red, and black, or a variation of these colors, for their national flags. Currently, about 60% of all African countries have at least two of these colors on their national flag. But despite the similarities in the colors and patterns, make no mistake to think that two African flags are the same. Each country's flag is distinct and significant to the country's history, heritage, and culture. For example, Ghana, under the leadership of Kwame Nkrumah, became the first country to adopt the Ethiopian Pan-African colors after its independence in March 1957. They inverted the Ethiopian flag and added a black star in the center, which symbolizes the unity of the people against colonialism. The Ghanaian flag influenced the flags of Guinea-Bissau and São Tomé and Príncipe. Meanwhile, the flag of the Republic of Guinea and Mali feature a simple vertical tricolor of the Ethiopian Pan-African colors, with the only difference between the two being the arrangement. Similarly, the flags of the Republic of Benin and the Republic of the Congo features a simple color without any extra design but are more easily distinguishable. Senegal and Cameroon also have a similar tricolor design, with the only difference being their arrangement and the color of the star in the center. While Burkina Faso features a horizontal bicolor of red and green with a yellow star in its center. Some other African countries that use the Pan-African colors of Ethiopia include Chad, Central African Republic, Comoros, Eritrea, Mauritania, Mauritius, Zimbabwe, South Sudan, Uganda, and Zambia. However, without the yellow color, this list includes Malawi, Angola, Libya, and Kenya. So as you can already tell, African flags may appear similar, but they are not the same. Each flag is more than a combination of colors. It is the culture, belief, and aspiration of a people bound together by a common history.